Hello, and welcome to Fintech Surge Podcast, creating a wealth of opportunities through fintech innovations from the Middle East for the Middle East. My name is Stephen Besse. I'm excited to be joined by our co-host, Alexandra.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm very happy to be co-hosting the Fintech Surge podcast with you, powered by the Fintech Surge, the region's leading fintech festival in the Middle East, and hosted by the Dubai World Trade Center alongside Regtech's logo. Mr. Yaron Hazan from Theta Ray. Hello.
Hello, good to be here.
I'm very happy to have you here. So you are working for Theta Ray, and your role there is VP of Regulatory Affairs, right?
Indeed.
Okay. So Theta Ray is a fintech company. It's also big data analytics. Can you tell me a little bit more about what it is you do at Theta Ray?
Okay. So as you mentioned, Theta Ray is a technology provider.
Yes.
And I don't even know how to write a single line of code.
Oh.
But
That's promising.
yeah. But the use cases that Theta Ray is focused on are around defense on humanity, financial institutions, and countries against cyber crimes, money laundering, terrorist funding, and other severe crimes.
Okay.
This is where the technology, combined with knowledge, expertise, and experience of people like me, provide the best solutions to customers.
And your headquarters are in Israel and in New York, correct? And you have offices in Singapore, London, Madrid, and now Dubai.
Indeed, we are so excited, and
Yeah?
me personally I'm so excited.
How long
To be
have you
here.
been in Dubai?
So actually, I'm now coming visiting back and forth,
Okay.
but hopefully very soon I will move permanently to Dubai.
Yes.
The company was just recently established.
Fantastic.
And,
Congratulations.
and as an Israeli technology provider, to be in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, as a local company, it's very exciting.
So clearly there was a need to be here to serve the Gulf country.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's of course the side of the need, the geographical need over here. Recently, the FATF, Financial Action Task Force, reviewed the regulatory regime at the United Arab Emirates, and the need to improve here, both in terms of the FATF perspective, but also in terms of the economic potential of this area to become a center, economical center, both from a geographical perspective and business perspective to the entire world. The need to do things like we can help is much higher.
Fantastic. So it's Regtech, right? Regulatory technology and fintech combined.
Exactly.
And so there is a lot of similarities between the two. Can you talk to me a little about how Theta Ray, brings the two together?
Definitely. I think it was 2019. I spoke at the KPMG global event, and I said that Regtech and fintech should go together and always progress together. Why? Because the more we provide and enable through fintech new financial services, new functionalities, new technologies to help people around the world to conduct financial activity together, to participate in deals together, etc., we have to have our controls attached to it to make it safe, to make sure that these services and these new technologies serve the right people with the right purpose. And this is how Regtech and fintech became like twins that must go together.
That's right. And you sell your software, your algorithms to banks, to financial institutions, government as well?
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, we were one of the first private sector companies that was invited to present at an FATF conference. The doors to the private sector were not open before that. After that, many companies arrived and participated
When
as well.
was this?
2019.
Okay.
And over there, FIUs, Financial Intelligence Units, the governmental organization that collects all the financial intelligence from banks and other reporting institutions, actually understood the power of technology and the ability of technology to make a big jump to the fight against financial crime and to take the entire humanity and industries, public and private sector, from a situation that was not that good
Right.
to become a bit more effective and
Right.
successful.
So Theta Ray software allows for financial crime detection,
Exactly.
monitoring of money laundering, right? That kind of incident.
Indeed.
Right. So I'm giving you bragging rights right now. Tell me the breakthroughs or the accomplishments that Theta Ray has achieved.
With pleasure.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been fighting financial crime all my life.
Oh, really?
I've been in the Israeli police,
Okay.
investigating counter-terrorist funding investigations. I've been in PwC, forensics and anti-money laundering practice. I've been head of compliance at the HSBC Bank, and I always felt one step back, that the bad guys always knew better where they are, what they do, and it was very difficult to follow the trails.
Right.
With Theta Ray, I always say that I feel that I'm, for the first time in my life, one step ahead of the bad guys. Why? Theta Ray enables seeing things in financial data that normally we would not look at. Combining facts from the transactions that normally we would miss.
Okay.
The entire industry used a practice that was called transaction monitoring
Yes.
in the banking and financial system to try and detect potential financial crimes. And it was always a loss environment, a failed environment. When I was head of compliance at HSBC, all my transaction monitoring activities provided, let's say, minimum results.
Okay.
But Theta Ray laser focused on the actual things that are interesting, that are relevant, that are unusual, and eventually suspicious. So I will give just numbers. For example, if the industry got used to 99% false positive,
Yes.
Theta Ray provides 95% relevant cases. So we flip the coin. And it's a dramatic change in this specific professional aspect. But what it enabled, it's even more than we imagined.
Wow, fantastic. So this is anti-money laundering. It's also narcotic trafficking, people trafficking. So really, it's more than you're actually saving lives at the same time.
And this is what makes it even more exciting.
Yes.
When we found the case for one of the customers that we work with of child trafficking network, and we knew that not only that theoretically we save lives and we help the entire society and financial industry to have the right eyes in the right places to see that something wrong is going on, we actually stopped child trafficking in that case.
Yes.
You cannot ask for more. Same goes for terrorist funding. We know for some banks that we detected cases that were actually confirmed as terrorist funding related.
Right.
And that's, to my view, what makes it even more important.
Right. So definitely fintech has brought so many benefits to us end users. You know, we can do online payments, money transfers, crypto. It's easy, it's user friendly, it's quick. But do you feel that it also raises the amount of financial crime, making it so easy to do all these transactions? Do you find that crime levels have increased with this ease of people, taking care of their financials?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And not only that, I will give two examples of things that happened in the last 3 years and we couldn't imagine that will happen. First of all, COVID. And the output of COVID for that specific topic, very small example. The budgets governments assigned to help people during COVID, you know how much of these were defrauded by criminals?
No.
So much.
Oh.
And I always said that in order to do the right thing with those funds, for example,
Yes.
that governments wanted to help the poor people that now are in a terrible situation. What systems and tools like Theta Ray could enable in that situation, I always say that bad guys want to enter the bank from the front door. But if you close the door, they enter from the window. So Theta Ray also closed the window for them
Right.
in this example. And I think that digitalization, as you mentioned, and the fact that the crypto and the fact that everybody works with the computers now, even our phone is a computer actually.
Exactly.
Yes, it exposes us to a lot of cyber attacks. I was defrauded 3 weeks ago on my credit card.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, we all experience that.
Yes.
So it's here and now. It's not something that some experts will tell us that happens.
Right.
We experience it every day. So there must be good way to defend ourselves at the same time.
So next gen technology, I hear something about forensics.
Yes.
How do you use forensics to narrow in on your criminals?
I think that this is exactly where technology and expertise are combined. Because Theta Ray will anyway, for example, through the unsupervised machine learning approach, will find things that even me with all my experience and expertise couldn't notify that these are the cases to investigate.
Right.
But once you find them, what we build around it is an investigation tool that is based on forensics expertise that can reveal the facts and the evidences faster to the investigator. Because you have a very sophisticated technology on the one hand, but you want to simplify the results for people to take the decisions as fast as possible to stop the crime on a timely manner.
Right.
So this is where forensics came in, and the facts and evidences serve the investigation better.
So what type of forensics?
In any case, in any investigation, in order to understand the facts, you need to answer the typical questions. What happened? Who was involved? When it happened? Where it happened? And if possible, why it happened? And these are exactly the questions that if you serve the investigator with the right data, will be able to answer.
But I hear that banks are de-risking, so they don't want to invest so much. They're taking a very safe approach, and they're losing revenue as well because they don't want to deal with so many banks.
It's a protective approach that the industry embraced, unfortunately, in the last, let's say, 5 years. 95% of people who were interviewed from banks why they do de-risk activity and actually stop or slow down business.
Yeah, exactly.
They said that it's due to the fact that they cannot manage financial crime risks.
Right.
But now they can.
Okay.
And once they can, we actually found ourselves doing something that also was a bit surprise for us 3 years ago. We actually contribute to the business side. We actually contribute to financial inclusion.
Exactly. Yes.
So countries and individuals and companies that they had only limited access to the global financial system, now the banks that use us have confidence in controls. It brought back trust between banks and people. Therefore, funds can move faster, safer, cheaper.
And multi-currency, does that pose a problem? Or?
Now, different currencies from different geographies can be more connected to the global financial system, and it helps everybody. It helps the banks, it helps the people, it helps the countries. And
fantastic.
Yeah.
How many employees at Theta Ray?
More than 100. Actually, we grow very fast.
Okay.
I always laugh about it that only in Spain, for example, I think we grew from 2 to 10 employees within 6 months or something like that.
Wow.
So we grow very fast.
Okay.
In terms of customers, in terms of success, but definitely also in terms of employees.
So how do we get an innovative digital payment plan while overcoming issues of fraud and security? Like, what's the ideal picture?
So I think that the UAE, for example, is a good place that demonstrates always forward thinking and vision and innovation.
Yes.
But now I also see the seriousness around being safe, doing it with the right controls along the way. So only yesterday I had meetings with regulators over here, and I love what I hear. In terms of, yes, we will move forward. Yes, we will develop.
Fantastic.
whether it's digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, we will develop the infrastructure, but we want to do it in a safe manner. And I think this is the approach.
And do you also have solutions for blockchain?
So we are working on it.
Yes.
We already tested it.
Okay.
The results were amazing. And it's funny because when you think about it, the same challenges on SWIFT or cross-border payments are the same challenges of crypto networks.
Okay.
Because each bank by itself is not responsible for the behavior of all the other entities involved. And it's always other entities involved.
Right, that's true.
Same goes for crypto. Each exchange or each regulated entity that wants to be part of the network of the game have minimal view of what other wallets, other currencies, and other individuals are doing in the network.
So there are regulations for blockchain?
Yeah, there are preliminary regulations. It's in the early stages, the regulation.
Yeah.
But we always know that the market and the technology goes much faster than the actual regulation.
Okay.
But what we saw in our experiments, that it is not a black hole. You can actually see everything that is going on inside.
Right.
Why? Because unlike with banks, that if there is a transfer between banks, only the banks involved can see the transfer. In the blockchain, everybody can see the transfers.
Okay.
So if you have an exposure to certain wallets, to certain exchanges, to certain actors in the blockchain, you can actually see who interacts with these entities and find the behavior which us, Theta Ray, we excel in it. We don't care who is the owner.
Yes.
We analyze the behavior.
But is there as much information on the blockchain transaction entities as a bank would get from
80%. 80% of the information is anyway available. The individual or company or owner name is not available.
Okay.
Again, there are challenges. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that we can easily solve everything. Because also in blockchain, like in regular financial activity, there are sophisticated schemes like mixing wallets and being able to sort of hide the traceability of funds.
Right.
There are certain currencies that are not as transparent as, let's say, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or the common ones. So I'm not saying it's easy, but it's definitely something that can be solved.
Right.
And I think that all the revolution now that is being discussed within the largest companies in the world and the richest people in the world about Web3, about the future of things, like internet made a revolution to our lives in many aspects. Again, without the right defense, the right controls, without the ability to do it safe, it will never happen.
Okay.
Now, I believe there is a way to do it in a safe manner.
Okay. So financial crime, do you feel that in the next 10 years will move from banks to blockchain since the traceability is not 100%?
It's already started.
Yes.
I mean, almost any cyber attack, the hackers demand the ransom in Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it is still so easy to conduct fraud on credit cards, like I was exposed 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
To transfer funds in cross-border payments on the traditional system,
Right.
whether it's related to money laundering, terrorist funding, or any severe crime, drug trafficking, whatever. It's still easy.
It's still easy. Right.
And yes, there is a movement to the blockchain. But I think since the focus on blockchain and cryptocurrencies by governments now is very high,
Okay.
if I'm a bad guy, why should I run to a sophisticated scheme if I can do it in a simple way?
That's true. Agree there. So, future 2030, where do you see Theta Ray?
I'm very optimistic. I think the world will use Theta Ray almost in every point. It will be part of our life, of our financial activity, of course. I don't see any reason why any financial institution, a bank, a fintech company, a payment service provider, or even a cryptocurrency enabler will not want to use something like Theta Ray.
Right.
We must, now we are all connected. Globalization already won, let's call it this way. We are all connected.
Right.
We can do deals in a minute everywhere. we can talk with each other on any spot on the planet.
Absolutely.
And maybe soon not only on the planet. But when you think about it, what we really need is a trust to enable this.
Right.
Therefore, I don't see any reason why Theta will not be everywhere.
I find it really interesting how we have all these summits on artificial intelligence and fintech. Do you find that there's a lot of collaboration among fintech companies, other than summits?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Okay.
Actually, I talked about it yesterday with
really?
one of the regulators here. Because at a private company,
Yes.
most companies, especially young companies, they want to see their breakthrough. They want to be the biggest one, the new unicorn, and it's natural, it's okay.
Yes.
Therefore, we still see each other somehow also as competition. But people who really are in the business understand that the more those other companies that do drive the industry forward will succeed, the need for other companies that provide advanced technologies will be proven.
Exactly.
So we know that even if we don't cooperate, we help each other. We know it.
Right.
But I think it can be done more, and the collaboration between public and private sector can also help it, drive it, and especially in the fight against financial crime.
Exactly. There is a common goal there.
Exactly.
I mean, I understand that they are individual companies, trying to be the best at what they do, trying to make a profit for the company and so on. But because of this common goal of fighting financial crime, I feel that there should be collaboration, as well as your own individual research and development, but as well a place to share the knowledge and.
But you know what is the key to that? It's the trust. Once regulators will have more trust in the private sector, that is actually the forefront of fighting financial crime, at least identifying financial crime for the public sector.
Yes.
And the financial sector, the private sector, will have more trust in the regulators that although, yes, they will punish them, they will fine them if they really fail to do what they have to do, but at the end of the day, it's not the regulator's objective.
Yeah.
Once this trust will come to the next level, I'm very optimistic.
Okay.
It will work amazing.
Are there different regulations for different countries, different governments?
Yes. So
how do you manage to know the differences and apply them depending on what region you're working in? How do you manage?
So in Theta Ray, I have a research team.
Okay.
That this is exactly what they do.
They define and
they see any guidance, any new law, any publication in most of the countries in the world. And they analyze the specifics to the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence, to cross-border payments, to crypto, to correspondent banking, all these transaction monitoring, all the things that can touch the way Theta Ray interface with the financial sector.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering how that worked. Are they lawyers?
I have one lawyer and one analyst.
Okay.
So I combine the professional legal understanding and the technical aspect of the analysis.
Okay.
And they're doing an amazing job.
But you yourself, as VP of Regulatory Affairs in Dubai, do you find that the Gulf in general will work under the same
and you could have seen in the last 2 years, there were many guidance or laws or new legislations or requirements from the regulators here that wanted, first of all, to raise the level of requirements. Of course, like happened to me when I was at HSBC, it comes like rain.
Yes.
And it comes very fast and without any space in between. So when I worked as head of compliance, I always used to say, how can I deal with so many new regulations and new requirements at the same time? But it's a baseline that must be achieved.
That's right.
And once you achieve it, you can go up to the next level.
So you partner, as a fintech company, you partner with your client, which is the bank. And the bank also has its own goals of, maintaining a certain level of customer service with its clients. And you also have to, at the same time, remind the bank of their duties regarding the laws and the regulations that are set.
Yeah.
So I see this trust issue that you're bringing up, where the bank needs to trust you as a partner and not as someone who's, you know, putting sticks in their wheels to stop their business. So it's actually a very interesting position you're in.
A very, very interesting position. And
Yeah.
if you take it even,
Because you might get
inside-
resistance from the bank.
you always get resistance from
Yeah.
certain people.
Yes.
Anything that you want to do
Mm.
in life to make a change, there's somebody that doesn't want to change. It doesn't matter, it's a bank, it's a control, it's a system, it doesn't matter. People are reluctant to changes. The people are almost limited to see by nature how a change will take them to a much better place.
Right.
So we know that and we feel that. But what he said is more interesting even when you look internally at the bank.
Yes.
Because there are the business teams and the regulation teams or compliance teams.
That's right. And they both have different
Yeah.
responsibilities and different goals.
But imagine
Yeah.
that the head of anti-money laundering
Yes.
will tell the head of CIB, corporate investment banking, now we're going to have a solution that will help you drive business faster to get to more customers, but will save you, will keep you safe, will bring you the right controls. It's almost like impossible. When I worked at the bank, it sounded like a dream, but it happens.
Yeah.
And to see it happening, it's like mind-blowing. It's like something that you would never imagine.
Fantastic, Yaron. I'm so happy to have had you today as our guest.
My pleasure.
Theta Ray, I wish you the best of luck. You're doing wonderful things, and I do believe in everything that you are saying is for the good of our world. So congratulations. It's a meaningful job as well.
Totally, and we are very lucky to be in a place that on the one hand helps with improving security, saving lives, doing all the defensive aspects in life,
Yes.
and at the same time enabling growth, enabling financial inclusion, enabling trust between
Yes.
business. It's amazing. We are very lucky and fortunate.
And enabling
To be in
people
that
like me
position.
to do our everyday
Exactly.
online banking and
Yeah.
digitally savvy transactions. Thank you very much, Yaron.
Thank you.
I hope to see you at Fintech Surge in October.
Yes, I will be there.
Fantastic.